you have to what? You're good.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jennifer Romano, the Executive Director of the Whitley County Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you here today. We have a lot to be proud of and grateful for in this community. Our beautiful community is filled with thriving businesses and dedicated nonprofits that make it a wonderful place to live and to do business. We can be proud of this beautiful library that's hosting us today, and grateful for the support of our sponsors, United Consulting and NIPSCO. Appreciative to member Jill Daniel for preparing our lunch today. Grateful for the many hands in the Parks Department and County Work Release who helped in setting up this morning. And thankful to each of you in attendance today. Looking around the room, I see the faces of many who put the goals of excellence into everything that they accomplish each day. From our city streets, to our parks, to our utilities, and to our infrastructure. Each providing a necessary part of what must be done for Columbia City to be great. And to all of you, I say thank you. Thank you also to the City of Columbia City for being a valued partner with the Chamber in meeting our objectives and helping the Chamber to be the advocate, the resource, and the champion this community needs. Like many of you, I'm looking forward to hearing what Columbia City Mayor Ryan Daniel has to say and learning more about the vision, goals, and objectives that he, City Council, and the city departments have in store for 2018. Because truly, a vibrant, growing, and thriving city is key for all of us, businesses and nonprofits, in order to be successful in reaching our own goals. We present the State of the City Luncheon each year because in big and small ways, everyone in this room is in partnership with the city. When the City of Columbia City wins, we all win. So join me in welcoming Columbia City Mayor Ryan Daniel.
Hello everybody. I can say good afternoon now, I guess. So good afternoon. Glad to have everyone here. I want to make a couple of points real quick before I get started with my speech. Appreciate everybody taking an interest in what's happening in the city. We do act as the catalyst for a lot of things, but we're also a partner in a lot of things as well, and I hope that I can touch on a lot of those things today. The other piece I want to point out is this lovely tie. I don't know if you see this tie before, but this actually is the tie of my grandfather who passed away this year, and so I'm doing that kind of in honor of him. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Council members, business representatives, constituents, and friends, I appreciate the opportunity to update you on the state of our city. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this great event each year. Now you may not know it, but this speech is actually a requirement of me as mayor per Indiana Code 36-4-5-3.2. Now statute requires me to give a statement to the City Council on the finances and general condition of the city at least once a year. I'm thankful that I have a City Council who is actively engaged in the operations of the city and that little, if any, of this speech will come as a surprise to them. Now let's dive in. After reviewing the past year's efforts and what lies ahead of us for 2018, it was really challenging to cover everything, but I'll do my best. I think it's most appropriate to lay out these past successes and future plans by focusing on what I consider to be the city's 5 big goals. These goals are critical for our community's future success. They include reaching a population of 10,000 by 2020, continuing to be ranked in the top 25 safest communities in Indiana, improving and investing in quality of life amenities, retaining and attracting talent, and maintaining a strong and stable community. The first goal is the most challenging of them all, and that's the first big goal of reaching a population of 10,000 by 2020. Now, in a time where Midwestern population growth has been at a net neutral, or even a net negative, we look to set a higher standard. Now keep in mind that more residents equal more business growth, additional housing choices, and more spreading out of utility costs and taxes. Now, this is not necessarily a goal based on the wants of the city, but really on the wants of our residents. When residents want more restaurants and shopping options, population growth is the answer. When residents want utility rate stabilization, and population growth is the answer. And when residents want additional internet service providers, guess what? Population growth is the answer. Now, make no mistake, the market is a determining factor on all of these issues. And with a population below 10,000, the market doesn't justify the need to build or expand into Columbia City for these companies, restaurants and service providers as well. Now, this is why it's critical we find ways to grow our population and expand our market. Housing fits into this big goal for numerous reasons, not the least of these to be that you have to have a place for someone to live in order for them to be a part of the city, right? Man, housing boom has really been happening in Columbia City. Quail Ridge Apartments are at capacity after opening in the beginning of 2017. They're considering adding a new building to their current development as well as starting phase 2 this year. The ribbon was cut on the historic Bluebell Lofts in May of 2017. This creative reuse of the Bluebell Jeans factory is in the central part of Columbia City. Not only beautifies the neighborhood, but is now providing 52 apartments for seniors in our community. Houses continue to be built in the Cambridge Crossing, Brennan's Addition, Deer Chase, Lincoln Estates, Eagle Glen, and Oakdale Ridge subdivisions, providing different homes throughout the economic spectrum. And just last week, we were notified about 2 additional housing programs and developments that are going to begin this year in Columbia City. The first project is a collaboration between the city's redevelopment commission, Biggs Development, and Scan Inc. The Van Buren Flats, which I did talk about last year, it's actually going to happen this year, apartment complex, which will be built on the corner of Van Buren Street and North Line Street on the Old Eagles Lodge property, will add 25 single-family units to our downtown. Now, this public-private partnership was awarded tax credits from the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority and will add to the foot traffic and commerce in our downtown. The second newly announced tax credit project is identified as workforce housing, which will build 22 new single-family homes off of Hannah Street in the Ravenwood subdivision. This project is also being completed by Biggs Development. Now, in the past 2 years alone, we've seen almost 80 new single-family dwellings built in Columbia City. That doesn't include the 170-plus apartment units that are now being occupied in our city. The boom of housing in Columbia City is a welcome addition to our community that went throughout really the early 2010s with very few construction projects and really a tightened housing market. I'm often asked the question, now, where are these residents coming from? Well, my answer is basically from all over. So we've been taking intake forms. When people come in to sign up for new utilities, we get some information of where a lot of these residents are from. We have new residents from nearby locations like Warsaw and Albion and Wabash, and a lot from Fort Wayne. We have new residents from surrounding states of Illinois and Missouri, Ohio, Pennsylvania. We also have new residents from places like Pueblo, Colorado, and Haverhill, Massachusetts, and Oak Harbor, Washington, and of course, Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. Now, our community is welcoming residents from every corner of the United States, and I'm so proud of the efforts of so many in our community to welcome these new residents, showing them our hospitality, friendship, and love of neighbor. But it's not just new housing stock that we're focusing on, however. The Columbia City Housing Authority is now in its 3rd year of offering the owner-occupied rehabilitation program for homeowners. This 90-10 loan program is focused on making sure low to moderate income families in Columbia City are living in safe, sanitary, and secure housing. Currently, the CCHA is working on a couple additional programs to aid homeowners in beautifying their home while also improving their neighborhoods. Also happening later this year, the city will roll out the Neighborhood Beautification Grant Program. This program will incentivize neighbors to work together on projects that improve their neighborhood. Now, whether it's flower boxes or new sidewalks or trees or signage, this public-private partnership will make an impact on the aesthetics of our community. The second big goal is to continue being ranked in the top 25 safest communities in Indiana. This is as much a quality of life issue as it is anything else. Columbia City is known to be safe and friendly and welcoming. However, We also have the reputation established throughout Northeast Indiana as a place where drug dealers don't want to get caught. That's because of the strong sentences given to their crime. Now, we're a place where even petty crimes are dealt with rather than being brushed off as in bigger cities. We're a place in which Neighborhood Watch encompasses all of our residents because we look out for each other. We're even known to have, quote, too many police officers, end quote. Now, I'm sure that Chief Hively wouldn't necessarily agree with that, and neither do I. Know that it's critically important that we maintain a successful police presence throughout our community, patrolling every neighborhood and every street that passes through our city. In 2017, we introduced Cass, our first canine in several years, to our department and the community. Canine Officer Archbold and Canine Cass have made a tremendous impact on our community, helping to seize thousands of dollars in drugs and numerous arrests. In just 8.5 months, that's all she's been out. Cass is a she, by the way, if you didn't know. Canine Cass has been deployed over 160 times in 8.5 months. With no other canine units permanently in Whitley County, we believe it's the right time to secure another canine for the CCPD. This past Tuesday, the Board of Works gave the go-ahead to Chief Hively to work toward the acquiring of a second canine unit. The best part of this program has certainly been the outpouring of support from our community. Businesses and residents alike have stepped up to the plate to help fund this program into the future. In fact, you have all been so generous that very few public tax dollars will be used for the purchase and the training and the outfitting of that canine. Dispatch is also a very critical public safety department that can truly determine life or death for residents. For 2017 and into 2018, we'll continue to replace outdated equipment and find new and innovative trainings that will give our dispatchers all the tools they need to respond quickly and efficiently to crisis situations that are only a phone call away. We've hired additional dispatchers to make sure that when residents need help, someone is at the other end of the line to send assistance. We've also upgraded security at City Hall for the sake of our employees and public documents. The fire department has also been expanding to meet the current and future needs of our citizens. In 2012, the city had 7 full-time firefighters. Now, 6 years later, we're getting very close to a minimum staffing of 2, with a total, after this current hiring process that we're in right now, of 11 full-time firefighters. Now, partner them with the numerous volunteers that dedicate time and energy and public safety toward their fellow citizens, and we get a community that's safe and protected. Remember, a community that's safe is a community that people want to join. We're working hard to make sure our public safety officials in all 3 departments are equipped to do the job that's needed to maintain our ranking as one of the safest communities in Indiana. The third big goal is to improve and invest in quality of life amenities. I've said it time and again, Columbia City must be a place that people want to live. We must have desirable amenities for residents and visitors of all ages. One key addition to the city's quality of life continues to be constructed out along State Road 9. The new Columbia City High School is going to be a tremendous asset for our population, both current and future. With this new facility being the only new high school under construction in the state of Indiana, Columbia City and Whitley County will have a competitive advantage against other communities throughout Northeast Indiana, as well as throughout the northern half of the state. In fact, Whitley County Consolidated has already seen an increase in student population in this current school year. There's no doubt that families have been and will continue to be giving strong consideration to joining our school corporation. Of course, the Russell and Evelyn Fall Aquatic Center is going up block by block, yard by yard. This effort would not be possible without the help of so many people, including the Russell and Evelyn Fall family and the DECO Foundation and Whitley County Community Foundation, Lutheran Health Systems, and the Northeast Indiana Regional Development Authority, Lori Shipman, Billy Reffett, Whitley County Government, I'm getting there, Whitley County Consolidated Schools, the Columbia City City Council, Clerk Treasurer Rosie Coyle, and literally hundreds of residents and businesses that donated, and of course, Columbia City Parks Director Mark Green. This facility was recognized by the Regional Development Authority as a priority project for not only Whitley County, but for Northeast Indiana as a whole. When opened, the facility will welcome thousands of citizens and visitors to a fantastic quality of life amenity that will be beneficial for all ages. Now, currently, we're a little behind schedule. We had some unsuitable soils. What do you kind of expect after you dig up a 60-year-old pool? But we had some unsuitable soils, but we are confident that by the end of June, the Russell and Evelyn Fall Aquatic Center will open its doors and welcome all to come and enjoy the many benefits of aquatic recreation. In 2018, we'll have a route study performed on the best way to get from our current trail system to the new CCHS site. The study will evaluate the aesthetic, topographic, and logistical challenges that stand between the Blue River Trail on South Line Street and the new CCHS property located on State Road 9. This trail is critically important for the safety of walkers and bikers who may be going to a sporting event or just trying to get to school. The trail will also assist in expanding the mileage of our trail system to give additional opportunities for recreational exercise. Now, we also continue to consider pedestrian routes to connect the Westgate and Deer Chase subdivisions to our trail system. A new school, new aquatic center, expanded trails, and many other growing amenities are exciting additions to our community that will help cultivate growth into the future. The fourth goal, someone kill that bird. The fourth goal is to retain and attract talent to Columbia City. Now, to be fair, this goal really is more of an overarching goal that fits as a part of the previous three goals. However, it's important to set it apart. This goal of retaining and attracting talent is not only a Columbia City goal, but also a Whitley County, Northeast Indiana, and statewide goal. Whitley County's Economic Development Corporation has hired Riley Hollenbaugh as the Director of Workforce and Community Development, with his main focus being retaining and attracting talent to Whitley County. The Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership has multiple staff working full-time on attracting people to our area and trying to keep the high-quality people here. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb has set this goal as being one of his priorities for the rest of his gubernatorial administration. Now, make no mistake, the objective of retaining and attracting talent is working to address the number one threat to our future. Indiana, like most other states in the Midwest, doesn't have mountains, or oceans, or sun 365 days a year, or as Amanda would say, 50 days a year. We have to overcome our dreary winters, humid summers, and perceived lack of coolness among younger populations. We've seen precipitous declines across the Midwest as more residents pack up and move to the coast. So how do we fight back? Well, one way is the often referenced and great business environment that exudes throughout our state and region, which has attracted many new companies from other states and countries. Having an attractional business environment brings new companies and new jobs to our city. Now, over the past year, we've seen a dramatic renovation to the Kroger store, which incorporated a new Starbucks coffee shop, sushi availability, and expanded grocery offerings. I know many people like ClickList as well. We've seen renovations to the Kentucky Fried Chicken and Wendy's restaurant. We've seen multiple shops open downtown and are currently seeing the construction phases of a new Verizon Wireless corporate office, a long-awaited Holiday Inn Express, and Patterson Family Dental's large facility. 2017, we saw construction values of commercial and industrial buildings rise from $2.4 million in 2016 to over $3 million in 2017. If you take out the construction value of the new CCHS building and the Aquatic Center, Columbia City alone saw a total of over $16 million in new construction value in 2017. And speaking with many business owners throughout Columbia City, it's clear that our economy is not only growing, but it's thriving. Another way to address population stagnation and decline is to ensure a lively community with many options for recreation. Now, besides the many quality of life amenities that I've already addressed, it's important to recognize the growth of the heart of our community, our downtown. So many things are occurring in downtown Columbia City that it's really hard to know where to start. First Fridays was launched last year as a collaboration between the Columbia City Downtown Business Alliance and the Columbia City Main Street Association. Thanks to the foresight of the steering committee, this event continued to grow month after month. The Main Street Association partnered those events with 2 Movie on the Square events that saw over 600 families in attendance. Numerous new businesses located downtown with a few others in the works for 2018. We also had our standard, of course, Old Settlers Days and J.A. Car Show, and many other events take place in the heart of our community. Now, these events are critical in connecting us to our neighbors and fellow residents. This connection can mean the difference between someone living here versus someone moving away. In fact, at one of these events, a new couple who was looking for a place to locate in Northeast Indiana stopped me as I walked from one event to another. The guy specifically sought me out to tell me what he thought about our community. Now, I hate to admit, but I'm always a little hesitant when someone wants to tell me about our community, right? But, surprisingly, he spent 10 minutes raving about the generosity of our residents, the cute little shops that line downtown, and the pace of life that permeates our community. It's those kind of interactions that reinforce my belief that our city is truly a place like no other, and we must continue to reinvest in ourselves. So, in 2018, we will embark on a downtown revitalization study that will review the current infrastructure downtown and consider new and creative placemaking options to enhance the look, feel, and shopping experience in downtown. I hope you'll consider joining us at a public input session later this year. This study will set up a future revitalization project that can aesthetically transform our downtown. The business environment, connecting points, and downtown growth all focus on retaining and attracting talent to our fair city. The fifth and final goal, I know everyone's breathing a sigh of relief now, is really to maintain a strong and stable community. This is an all-encompassing goal that includes keeping up with federal and state mandates, ensuring quality streets and sidewalks, and providing good government services to the public. Utilities are a cornerstone of city government. In Columbia City, we are proud to have 4 strong utilities that continue to serve not only our residents, but many other residents out in the county in places like Lincoln Point and Big Lake and the County TIF District and Crooked Lake. With safe and affordable drinking water, much below neighboring communities' rates, we continue to pump increasing flows to our residents and beyond. While it is never an easy thing to discuss, additional improvements need to be made to our drinking water system, and additional revenues are needed for maintaining the system we have. Even with the growth in our community, the water department has financially declined to a spot where a rate increase may be needed. We'll continue to evaluate this predicament, but after 6 years of no increases to the water utility, a very modest cost of service increase will need to be looked at in the year to come. But even with, and if, we have a potential increase, Columbia City would still have one of the lowest drinking water rates in northern Indiana. The electric utility continues to reinvest in our system through burying previously overhead electric lines and re-engineering projects to provide shorter and shorter outage times. We have begun working with AEP on a conversion of our power grid to increase the amount of power coming to our growing community. This project will also create additional points of connection, lessening the opportunity for outages. Finally, the project will allow us to decommission our oldest substation while still providing reliable power to all of our customers. In 2018, we'll also embark on a pilot program that will allow for the reduction in cost to the utility, which ultimately keeps rates stabilized. The automatic metering AMI pilot project will be rolled out as a test case for a larger build-out in 2019. The pilot project will test an electronic mesh system. This is going to get it's over my head, so don't worry about it. The pilot project will test a electronic mesh system that will eliminate the need for a meter reader to drive throughout the city and into the county to pick up electric meter reads for the over 4,300 households that we serve through Columbia City Municipal Electric. It will also allow for customers, after full implementation, to get real-time readings on their home electricity usage. Now, in the future, we're considering moving our water meters to the same technology. Overall, this upgrade will create additional efficiencies and more interactive customer features. The Water Pollution Control Facility and Wastewater Department have a full plate of projects ready to roll out in 2018. Soon, the final engineering of the Long-Term Control Plan, a state and federally mandated list of projects, will be completed and ready for bidding. United Consulting, who's one of our sponsors today, is actually doing the planning for that. The project will create additional in-pipe and underground storage facilities for our combined sewer system for heavy rain events. It will help control the amount of combined sewer overflows that the city experiences every year, which dumps untreated wastewater and stormwater into nearby streams and rivers. The project, originally at a $10 to $12 million price tag, is expected now to come in around $8.5 million. The department will also be working with Steel Dynamics and the County Redevelopment Commission to help facilitate a $75 million addition to their steel mill. The project is anticipated to result in additional wastewater flows to our system, which is necessitating the construction of a new line to convey flows from SDI. We're excited to partner with both SDI and the county on this project, which will also increase economic opportunities for Columbia City and Whitley County. More information on this project coming in the future. Our stormwater utility continues to focus on areas of flooding. In the past few years, multiple projects have been undertaken, including Vine Street and Squawbuck and Columbia Shores and Dogwood and other locations. In 2018, the main focus of the stormwater utility will be improving stormwater issues at the Wooddale subdivision as a part of a major overhaul. Over 20 years ago, Wooddale, north on State Road 109, if you don't know where that's at, was brought into the community through annexation. For too long, that neighborhood had narrow roads, drainage issues, no curbs, and no sidewalks. 2017, with the help of the neighborhood, we undertook a planning effort that will culminate next month in ground being broke on a subdivision overhaul. The project will include new drainage and wider newly paved streets, new curbing, sidewalks, and new signage. This project was partially funded by the Community Crossings Grant program from the Indiana Department of Transportation. The 6-month project will result in a nicer, safer, more beautiful neighborhood. I'm thankful for all the public participation in this project, and I promise you, residents of Wooddale, it will be a project you can be proud of when we're complete. And speaking of streets and curbs, in 2017 we installed new curbs and/or sidewalks on South Walnut and Catherine Avenue and Wallace Avenue and Reddick Avenue and others, focusing on the safety and walkability of our community. We also paved many different portions of city streets, including Columbia Shores and South Walnut and West Lincoln Way and West Jefferson. In 2018, the majority of our paving, sidewalk, and curb budget will be going toward the Wooddale project. However, we'll continue to install multiple ADA ramps throughout the community and pave small sections of city streets, all without going into debt. At a time when state and other municipal roads fall into disrepair, I'm proud to say that the vast majority of our streets are in good or excellent condition. A quick story. Last week, Columbia City Youth Council took a trip down to the State House to learn about state government. The condition of I-69 and city streets in Indianapolis was truly deplorable. It's so bad in Indy that this week, per the Indianapolis Star, their city council passed a spending bill endorsed by the mayor that will drain $14 million from their rainy day fund to strip patch portions of streets across the city. I'm proud of Street Superintendent Kelly Searbold's leadership and forethought in our city street infrastructure. In 2018, we'll be applying for funding of a 2019 major paving package that could reach almost $1 million in new road paving projects, all without raising taxes and dipping out of the rainy day fund. Let's not forget that every dollar spent on improving the quality of our roads equals less money being spent on alignments, fixing bent rims, and popped tires for our citizens and businesses. A strong, stable community is important as residents choose where to live. Through our growing municipal utilities, sturdy road infrastructure, and increases in walkability, we are able to continue providing a community we can all be proud of. So, no matter what corner of our community you look in, you'll find expansions taking place. We're so blessed as a community with an expanding workforce, expanding businesses, expanding housing opportunities, expanding quality of life amenities. Of course, I could think of no other word to describe what's happening in our community. The state of our city is expanding because of residents and businesses and community leaders and developers who believe, who trust, and who invest in the future of Columbia City. We cannot and we will not stop investing in the things that matter to our community. We are at a crucial point in our history, friends. The things we do or don't do right now will determine our course for decades to come. Last night I read the article from in Whitley County regarding Tegmeyer Ace Hardware. As you know, Jim Tegmeyer served as mayor in the early 1990s, and I was reminded last night of all the initiatives, citizen boards, and community projects he undertook that put us where we are today. Whether it was the Blue River Trail, or the Housing Authority, or the Downtown Beautification Project. By choosing to be innovative and focused and forward-thinking, we together are capitalizing on this moment in history, setting up Columbia City for a bright and prosperous future for current and future generations, for such a time as this. Thank you, everyone.